Hello and welcome to Slovenia for the International Canoe Federation's second Slalom World Cup of the 2014 season. The challenging Tacen Whitewater River course is the scene for this weekend's activity. We're going to be watching the best of the action. 203 paddlers from 31 nations set out to conquer this course. 5 disciplines as usual. Racing started here in 1939. The course had a concrete base in 1990 to set it up for the 1991 World Championships. First event today, canoe singles for the women. As you can see, vastly experienced players against newcomers. 29-year-old Katarina Hoskova from the Czech Republic. By the way, she was the 2011 World Champion. Comes over the big jump, rides the cushion. The challenge is to get round the upstream red and white gates as quickly as possible so you don't leave too much time on the course. Every stroke is half a second added, but she negotiates cleanly. Oh, there's a 2-second penalty automatically added onto her score. The course designers today have set a course with 24 gates, 18 green and white downstream, 6 tricky upstream red and white. But she's mastering this well. In and out, taking advantage of the flow. This is the trickiest section of the course. Look at her surf across. And she switches at the same time. Now that takes some doing. Stalls a bit on the last up. Now it's just a case of keeping the boat dry, pointing in the right direction and sprinting over the line. And absolutely delighted. 30 seconds better than the rest so far, but she's not the last to go. Becoming a household name in this sport, 20-year-old Jessica Fox from Australia. Comes over the rooster, takes the line on the cushion. Maybe she's dropped a little bit low, but crucially keeps the boat speed. Jessica, as you can see, is completely at home, switching on both sides. Mainly because she's a champion also in the kayak discipline. Looking to take the fastest line. So many tricky parts of this course. It's not as big as London, but there are several occasions where you have to get the lining absolutely correct. Again, switching at the right moment, maybe dropping a slaction low, but crucially, keeping the bow of the boat clean. This is a fantastic time. Unless she falls out, she's going to win. Jessica Fox has won this race by 15 seconds. She won the Worlds by 13 seconds. Clearly, she's mastered the art of canoeing. Victory and gold medal for Jessica Fox for Australia. Katarina Hoskova takes the silver for the Czech Republic, and Chan Teng another bronze medal for China.
This course in Tacen is really tricky, and the water's very fast and sometimes unpredictable, and so that's what I struggled with in the semi. But in the final, I had good lines and I made some mistakes. I found the middle section quite challenging, and but I managed to piece it together well, and I'm very happy with the result.
The action continues. Now onto the men's canoe singles. Look at the field here. 6 of the current top 10 in the world, plus Mikael Martikan. Who can hold their nerve? 35 years old, 5 times Olympian, including 2 gold medals. In London last week, he took the bronze medal and was bitterly disappointed. Comes over the rooster, picks the line on the cushion. The idea is to hug the gate as closely as possible. That is not how to do it. However, doesn't matter how many times you hit the pole, as long as you go through, it's a 2-second penalty. Martikan clearly known to have complete control of his boat, puts it exactly normally where he wants it. He's going to really have to go after that 2-second penalty. making up slightly some time, but 1.4 seconds off the pace at the midway point. That's how to do an upstream gate, in and out on one stroke. Bit of slaloming around there, but crucially keeping the bow clean. Again, not wasting any time on the upstream. Crucial last section. How's he going to serve? The answer is perfectly well. Now go for it, Mikhail. Puts down the power. Last 5 or 6 strokes and crosses the line. 4 seconds ahead. He's local, he's 27 years old. On his day, he's the fastest on the circuit. Benjamin Sojek, Benny's to his mates. Lives a couple of 100 yards away from the course, so should know it better than anyone else. But as we've seen so far in the day, it's very unpredictable with the water flows. And as we've seen, he takes a 2-second penalty. He's really going to have to fly now. The local crowd is certainly out there. Hundreds and hundreds of locals lining the board. 1.14 seconds up. That's what they want to see. Can he keep it together? Often wins the heat, sometimes wins the semi-final, but very, very rarely wins a race. Here he comes, the last section. Maintaining crucially the speed. Now it's just a straight sprint for the line. Crowd pushing him forward. It's going to be close, here we go. So far, he's taken the provisional lead. Last competitor on the field, and it's a dangerous one. 23-year-old Luka Bozic has won many titles in the C2, yet to be on the podium in the C1. He's been attacking that for the last 2 years, but again, has massive local knowledge. One of the fittest athletes on the tour, so should be able to keep it going right to the end. Here's the first athlete we've seen making it clearly through the first few gates. See where he's on the split. Now that was a mess. 2-second penalties added onto his time, but still in touch. Will have knowledge of this course already. Here he goes, just keeping the line right. Oh dear, that's going to cost him something. Manages amazingly to keep the boat upright, but a crucial couple of seconds, and as you see, he's 4 seconds on the penalty points. It's a top performance, but it's not going to be good enough for gold. However, it should give him a medal. Just need to check on the penalties there. Slovenia take the gold with Benjamin Sojek. Michel Martican the silver for Slovakia, and another medal for Slovenia, Luka Bozic this time.
Happy I am because I win the World Cup here on my home course, and the atmosphere from the public, it was really good. So it was hard at the second gate because I had a 2-touch, but I did a really good bottom of the course, and I win, and I'm really happy.
If you could have lunch with anyone in the world, who would it be?
With my girlfriend.
The person I'd like to go to lunch with is Olympic bronze medalist Helen Reeves.
It's a good question. I have no idea.
I think I would have lunch with Barack Obama because he's the president of the USA. So, a big person.
It would be maybe Usain Bolt or something like that.
Helge Schneider from Germany because he's fun.
My neighbor, which is President Obama, because I live like 15 minutes from the White House, so I'd like to have lunch with him.
Switching from canoes to kayaks. This is a surprising field. Many of the top competitors didn't make it through, taking 50-second penalties. Daniel Molmenti, the Olympic champion, Yuri Priskovic, the European champion, and up-and-coming Brit Joe Clark. But here we have someone in training. He's known as being one of the fastest, hasn't yet managed to put the perfect run together in competition. We're talking from Italy and Romeo. It's exactly the same course as for the canoeists. Expect a faster time, however. This is surprising. Normally, he's all guns out, but today he's taking the low-risk strategy. Can he pay off? The first to go in the final, the idea, I guess, is to put down a fast, clean time and make the others panic. Total control, in and out in one stroke, not losing any time, crucially keeping the bow dry, looking for the line. Wonderful surfing across. Now it's just a case of flat out over the line, maybe stalls a bit there, keep the line correct and go for it. That is a really impressive time. Don't know whether delighted or annoyed, but certainly it's something to worry about for the others. On his day, no one is faster. 30-year-old Fabian Dorfler from Germany. By the way, a top rally driver in his spare time. He was a 2005 world champion. Earlier in the week, to promote this event, the athletes have a slalom on the flat water in Ljubljana. Fabian won that. Often takes risks, but as you see, doesn't waste any time at all. However, there he is, stalling a little bit. Let's see where he is on the split. Oh, very, very close. 0.02 of a second outside, but plenty of time to make that up. Crucially, keeping the boat speed going. Fabian isn't faced by big water. He spends lots of his summer on major white water courses. Here he goes, in and out. Now it's pure power, and Fabian's got plenty of that. Pushing over the line. As you can see, he leans far back. Where's he going to be? Well, it was close all the way down. He takes the provisional lead by 0.2 of a second. And completely delighted with that. Going from Dorfler to Schubert. Sebastian Schubert, 25 years old, from Germany. Here he comes. And the Germans have a reputation of being very precise and very fast. Oh, but he's caught the stern of his boat there. That's going to slow him down a little bit. In 2013, Sebastian Schubert was the overall World Cup winner after taking a fantastic victory in the last race of the season in Bratislava. Where's he going to be on the initial split? Slightly down, almost a second down at this point. Maybe that was to do with him stalling. However, now he's building up the speed. That's the quickest we've seen so far today, round upstream, setting himself up the crucial line. Again, all these athletes seem to have mastered the switch across. And now, as ever, it's just a sprint for the line. He's stalling a little bit there. That's going to cost him something. How much does it cost him? Well, it's probably cost him the victory. Polite applause from Dorfler. Apparently the hardest race of the year for these athletes is the German trials. The official results, Fabian Dorfler takes gold for Germany. Great result for Italy, with Andrea Romei taking the silver. Sebastian Schubert, yet another bronze for Germany. And it's so good to see competitors for Australia, New Zealand and Canada making the final.
The top part is always the most difficult, but the new bottom section was challenging for everyone. It's a new stopper in the course, and the last up was very tricky.
My name is Mike Kurt. I'm 34 years old and I'm from Solothurn in Switzerland. I've been in paddling for over 22 years, so it has been a big part of my life. I just love the sport, I love the water, and I love doing what I did. The 3 Olympics were unbelievable, even though I never reached my big goal, Olympic medal, but it was a great thing. And also the world champion title back about 10 years ago in teams was a big thing. I'm quite old now, so I have to make a decision whether I want to keep going till the Olympics in Rio, and I know what it means. Be at the start line and be competitive to have a chance to medal at the Olympics. It requires a lot of traveling, especially when you're from a country like Switzerland where we don't have access to white water, we have no artificial course. So for me it's quite tough. Right now I'm not sure if I want to sacrifice all those time and all that money to try it again. 1 year ago I started a project called I Believe in You, and it's a project that I've started with the former world #1 in fencing, and it's a crowdfunding platform for athletes, and it's going incredibly well back home in Switzerland. Yeah, one big project would be to build a course in Switzerland. I think this would be an artificial course. This would be the key point to really make sure that in the future young Swiss paddlers would be more competitive.
From the men to the women, and this is the kayak singles. Local knowledge may come into play. We do have 2 Slovenian athletes in this tournament. On her day, she's incredibly fast. Last couple of years, she's just suffered a little bit, maybe from nerves. She was the 2010 and the 2011 world champion. Of course, we're talking about Karina Kundler from Austria. Is capable on her day of putting down a time that no one can go close to. But she must remember to go cleanly through the gates. That's a 2-second penalty already. Karina in London last week took the silver medal. And Tacen last year, she also took the silver medal, so she has something to prove here. At the midway point, she's slightly off the pace, as you can see, over a second down. She was out on the course early in the morning, studying all the angles. Has she got it correctly right? Surfing across very quickly, round in one big stroke. And this is where her power is going to come into play. A couple of corrective strokes, that's not going to help. Leans back, but puts the power down for the line. She knows she's left something out there. 3.5 seconds ahead of the rest, but she knows she could have gone quicker. Former world champions are coming thick and fast. Here we have 28-year-old Jasmin Schonberg for Germany. She was the 2009 world champion. And last year was stringing together many podium positions. Completely different build. She really has to work the angles. Maybe a hesitation there will cost her a second. But puts the boat back on the right angle. Seems to be going a little bit crosswise. That's not what it's all about. You need to keep the boat pointing in the right direction. That's a bit more sharp. The last crucial drop. Taking a little bit wider than the last couple of competitors. Each stroke's a half a second onto your time. How can she negotiate this last section? As with Karina, having to put forward 2 or 3 corrective strokes. This is going to be very close. Provisionally moves into the lead by the smallest of margins. Jana Dukatova, just 31 years old a couple of days ago. Everyone admires her style. Paddles more like her man, long, measured strokes. By the way, she was the 2010 World Canoe Champion on this course. As you can see, very rarely a misplaced stroke. We need to watch her in kayak because since her operation on her shoulder in 2011, she's not able to competitively do the canoe section. Here she comes, needs to keep the boat straight. And so far, almost 1 second up. And crucially, clean at this point. Oh, ducking and diving a little bit. The rules are quite clear. You have to have the whole head and part of the boat going through the gate. Judges put the line out flat. That means no penalties. Going a little bit deep there, but the power to correct things. This is where she can make up the time. Having to correct herself a little bit, but no penalties, so it should be good for her. That's a huge victory. Hands up in the air, showing delight. Great to see Jana Dukatova back to her winning ways. She, by the way, was the overall champion in the World Cup Series last year. Confirmation, Jana Dukatova takes gold for Slovakia, Jasmin Schomburg silver for Germany, and Karina Kundler back on the podium for the second week in a row for Austria.
I have to say that this was a very tough race from qualifying to the semi-final and to the final. I always made some mistake and I wasn't very confident during these progressions, but in the final I did quite a good run, so I'm very happy I could finish up this race with a victory.
The locals are out in force. They have their man going last. This is the C2 event. We have some unknown pairs in this course, but not the cousins from Slovakia, the Skantars. Probably the best ever team not to make the Olympics due to the Hochschorners, who are not competing this week, by the way. 31-year-old Ladislav in the front. Peter putting the power down in the back. They've had an excellent start to the season. 2 weeks ago, they took the gold medal in the Europeans. Ooh, there's a little bit low there. And last week in London, again medal, taking the bronze medal this time. Where are they on the split? They're looking clean. And it's showing the timings. 1.21 seconds ahead of the field so far. Crucially, in the semi-finals, most of the top 10 were clean, setting themselves up for this difficult cross. Managing to keep on top of the stopper. Crucially, coming through the gates. This is a clean run. That's what it's all about. Putting the power down for the last 50 meters. And provisionally, oh, they're well in the lead, and they know that is a top run. It's going to take some beating. 5.22 seconds ahead of the field so far. These are the athletes the crowd has come to see. Luka Bozic recently took bronze medal in the C1. 23 years old. He's partnered by Sasso Talia, who's 24 years old. Last week in London, they took the gold medal in style. Very, very athletic style. As you see, Luka Bozic spends most of his race leaning back. He's in the bow, by the way. Dropping a little bit low there, but crucially keeping the boat speed going. The Skantars put down an incredibly fast time. How are they going to be? Well, that's surprising. 2.33 seconds off the Skantars' pace. The Slovenians tend a lot of time on this course. They should know exactly how the wave runs. Round the last up to perfection. But the clock is ticking away. They're really going to have to put down the power now. It's going to be close. Oh, not quite enough. However, that is 2 medals for Luka Bozic for a weekend's work. They come in second place, 1.26 seconds behind the Skantars. Interesting to see the time of the winning pair for the C2 was exactly the same time as the winner of K1, Jana Dukatova. Skantar and Skantar take gold for Slovakia. Bozic, Taliat, Slovenia take silver, and Kastler and Sindler, the young sensations from the Czech Republic, take the bronze medal. That's it from Tacen. See you next week in Prague. I'm Matthew Leighton. Bye-bye.